Welcome, everybody. My name is Pamela Pacheco, and I have the absolute honor, pleasure, and privilege of being your host on this beautiful Thursday morning. It is Thursday, November 30th. Can you believe it? We are in the last month of the year. Absolutely incredible. I felt like 2023 flew by. Anybody else feel the same exact way? Yes. Absolutely incredible. So welcome, everybody. I'm so happy to be here with you guys today. As usual, this is your first time. Welcome. I remember when I first embarked upon entrepreneurship, I was looking forward to these type of calls. And not only was I looking forward to these type of calls for the information I was going to receive, I was looking forward to these type of calls for the inspiration that I was going to receive, because I am very aware, like most of you are as well, that garbage in is garbage out and greatness in is greatness out. And how you start your day sets the tone for your day. So kudos to each and every single one of you that decided to start your day off with some light, with some love, with some positivity. Kindly state your name. Let me know where you're calling in from, tuning in from. Hello there, Vicky. How you doing, sis? We got New York City in the building. We got Jamaica on the call. Trinidad, Texas, welcome. Atlanta, welcome, Anthony. Make sure you're sending it to all panelists and attendees. Welcome to the call. So we missed last week because we were celebrating Thanksgiving. So welcome back to our beautiful community. And what we're going to talk about today are obstacles. And if you were on the call 2 weeks ago, we talked about the 7 must-dos. And if you are not subscribed yet, make sure that you go subscribe to our Chosen Global YouTube page, where we post all of our calls. You can look at Breakfast Club calls for the last 2-3 years on there. I think it's like the last 2 years we've been putting them up there. We've been doing this community, started in person about 5 years ago. And during the pandemic, we pivoted onto Zoom. So we are super grateful to be here with you guys. And what we're going to talk about today are obstacles. And how many of you have overcame some obstacles this year? Yes. Type of one in the chat. Let me see who I'm talking to. Awesome. Yes. So really and truly what I wanted to talk to you guys today about. All right. Okay. Let me see who I'm talking to. Great. Awesome. So what we're going to talk about today is the opportunity of an obstacle, right? And here's the reality, that whether it is building this business or building yourselves up or embarking upon life, dealing with life, okay? The term life be lifing, yes, right? We can all relate. And if you do not know what that is, that's okay. But it just means that sometimes life gets the best of us. And here's what I have learned, that every obstacle can be an opportunity if you shift your mindset, if you make a decision. And we often hear on our Breakfast Club call that our mindset is the most expensive piece of real estate we have. Our mindset is where our mind sits. If something does not allow us to grow positively, if it's not allowing us to positively impact our lives or businesses, if it's not allowing us to grow in our faith, in our fitness, in our fortune, in our fun, in our family, don't let it sit there, because that is the most important piece of real estate that we have. It is our mindset. So as we talk about the opportunity of an obstacle, because this is something that we should know off of the gate. Opportunities are disguised as obstacles sometimes. Can somebody relate to that? Have you ever seen an obstacle that was disguised as an opportunity? Yes? Or an opportunity that was disguised as an obstacle? Because the reality is that if you're taking notes, you may want to write this down. Your obstacle may actually be an unlocked door. And I'm going to give you an example of what do I mean by that, right? So I had an obstacle the other day, and for some reason, I literally cannot get into my door, right? My key was not working to get into my house. And I was like flabbergasted a little bit, not gonna lie, because I'm like, why is my key not working? This makes no sense. So come to find out, I actually took the wrong house key. I know, guys, I'm a natural blonde. Okay, it's okay. You guys can laugh with me. It's okay. It's okay. So I took the wrong key. So I'm like, I have to call maintenance, right? And I'm like, this is not it. This is not working in my favor. I'm flustered now because I'm on back-to-back Zooms, right? And I'm just annoyed, right? I'm just annoyed. Can you relate? Can you just be and like, have you ever been in a situation that you are annoyed, but you're more annoyed at yourself because you know you just made an extra obstacle for no reason for yourself, right? So in the middle of my annoyance, my maintenance guy comes to open, and my maintenance guy is my neighbor, and we're good friends. And I have been doing my best in the last 3 years that I've been living in my complex to actually share with him what it is that we're working on. So it was a great opportunity for me to talk to him while he came to unlock my door. So immediately I was like, hey, Al, I was like, remember, I wanted to talk to you about a project I'm working on. I know we haven't had time to talk, but when can you carve out 10 minutes when you get off of work? My week is a little flexible. I did lie because my week is flexible and my schedule is tight, right? But it's okay. So, and that was an example of how an obstacle was disguised, an opportunity, I'm sorry, was disguised as an obstacle. And it goes the saying to, we have to do something different to get something different. And the most important piece of real estate is our minds. But how many of us are using our mindsets to favor us? How many of us are using our mindsets to better us? A lot of times the thoughts that come into our minds are not serving us, and we just let them sit there, or we dwell on the things that we cannot change. And I will tell you, control the controllables. Here are 4 things that you can always control. You can control what you say. You can control what you do. You can control what you think, right? And you can control what you say, what you do, how you think, and how you feel. Those are 4 things that you can control. And what we have to realize, not only as entrepreneurs and not only as leaders, as human beings, right? As spiritual beings embarking upon the human experience, that it is up to us. We have to, when those thoughts come into our mindsets that do not serve us, you hold those thoughts captive and you switch them and you take them out and you replace them with something positive, because the reality is that it's going to happen to all of us. But the faster we're able to say, hey, let me switch that thought, you will realize that most of the opportunities are missing us, right? We're missing a lot of opportunities because they are disguised as obstacles. I can think of time and time again, right? That I had an obstacle that I was just like, oh my goodness, let me flip it, right? What are some of the obstacles that you guys can have been finding in your business? And we're going to have a little crowd participation like we always do. Type it in the chat. If you don't want to send it to everyone, it's okay. Send it to me. What are some of the obstacles that you are embarking upon? As you type that, right, I'm going to tell you guys some of the obstacles that I found on this journey. One of them is people not showing up to appointments. Can you ever relate to that? Anybody have an appointment and you're doing the secret salute? Y'all know what the secret salute is? Y'all looking for them at the door. You're like, right? Where they at? It's the secret salute, right? You are looking for them at the door. You're looking for them at the secret social. You're looking for them somewhere. And the reality is that if we say, the reality is that if we learn how to shift our minds and are saying, hey, you know what? This can immediately be an opportunity, even though that it was an obstacle, is one of the greatest ways to change your circumstances, because you can immediately change your circumstances if you start by changing your mind, if you start by changing your outlook. Does that make sense? Changing your perspective. So another one is the need for help. I need to be in multiple places at one time, right? How about this? Absolutely. I get it. But this is why that is an opportunity for leverage. See, one of the greatest things that you have in this business is that you have leverage. You can leverage your upline's expertise. You can leverage your upline's time. You can leverage your upline's knowledge. You can leverage the way that your upline has, or your mentor. If you don't know what your upline is, it's okay. It's your mentor. If you're on my team, I'm your upline. Hi. Right? But you can leverage somebody else's time. And I get it. And I know that sometimes it's frustrating. Sometimes it's so frustrating because you want to be in 30 places at the same time. And when you are a natural born leader, it's a little difficult to shift. It's a little difficult to shift that sense of control, if we're being honest, right? Sense of ownership, to shift it and be like, well, I'm putting it in their hands. But in truth be told, you're not putting it in somebody else's hands. You're capitalizing on what's an obstacle and turning it into an opportunity that is not only going to serve you in this season, but it's going to serve other people, because the reality is that we are here to serve other people. So another obstacle, Suhani says, sometimes people say they will join as a customer or agent and they don't get started. Great obstacle to bring up. Can anybody relate to that? Victoria said, I was just about to write that. Yes. Okay. So here is a way that you can turn that obstacle into an opportunity, right? And it's going to bring us into my next point. But the reality is, when was the last time that you asked that person for a referral? Have you ever thought of taking it away from people? Hello, let me tell y'all something. I don't beg, I don't chase, and I don't convince, right? I do not beg, I do not chase, and I do not convince. Why? Because what we have is absolutely phenomenal. It is the gift that keeps on giving. And here's what I do, Sue. Here's what I do. I call them very nicely, not sarcastically, and I'll tell them, hey, I know you said you were going to get started and maybe some obstacles got in the way, and it's okay. I totally understand if this opportunity is not for you, if they said they were going to do the club, or if they said they were going to be a customer, whichever one, right? And I said, and I understand if it's not for you, but who do you know that travel, fun, and money is a no-brainer? Who do you know that really wants more out of life? Who do you know that can really use mentorship and is going to value having access to a community that can not only empower them in business, but empower them in life? Who do you know? I take it away from them quickly, with the quickness. Why? Because, see, people always want to be a part of something that where people don't need them. And the reality is, I'm going to tell y'all something. Okay? And y'all know when I say that, it's like about to get deep. It's about to get real, right? But it's all love. But guys, do you know, right? Fun fact. When y'all hear us say every time in our presentation, and if you hear me say this, type a 1 in the chat, this company made billions of dollars with just personal care. They dominated in the skincare space from head to toe, personal care. And if they did billions of dollars with just skincare and personal care, what do you think they're going to do now that they got nutrition and they got lifestyle and they got travel? What do you think they're going to do now? You think they're not going to go ahead and do extra billions of dollars? Right? So that's going to happen with or without me. That's going to happen with or without us. I'm choosing to participate in my own rescue. I'm choosing to participate in what I know it is about to blow. So it is important that we immediately shift that thought, that we immediately say, hey, how can I turn that obstacle into an opportunity? That is absolutely phenomenal, Stu. So somebody else says, when people start asking for travel price comparisons without even joining yet. Here, another thing, right? Here's like, I love the takeaway. Yes, absolutely. But here is another way, right? That something that has served me. Here's another way of something that has served me. I'm with the quickness to tell somebody, hey, let me ask you something. Can you go into Costco without a membership card? What do you think they say? What do you think they say? No. Can you go into Sam's Club without a membership card? No. So why do you think you could do that in my club? Yeah, like, and here's the reality. You got to posture up on people. You got to teach people how to treat you respectfully. Don't let anybody play with you. Don't let anybody play with this opportunity. If you have a desire in your heart, see, let me tell you guys why. If you've ever been, whether you are at a mosque, whether you are at church, whether you are at a concert, whether you are at a personal development conference, whatever you believe in, I believe in you. That's what matters to me. I believe in people, right? I believe that we're all meant to do life together. Commitment always lasts longer in community, right? But here's the reality. Have you ever been at any of those places? Have you ever been at a place in time that you hear somebody speak and something inside of you stirs up? Something inside of you, like it just hit you? Type of one in the chat. If you hear somebody say something, it just hits you. It could be me, right? But it could be at any of those places. Here's why those things hit you. I see the ones coming in, right? Here's why those things hit you. Because there was something already that God planted inside of you that somebody else is watering. And God will always align you with those people that are meant to water the seeds that were already planted to bring that vision to fruition over your life. But are you going to be obedient? Are you going to be able to persist and persevere in the middle of that obstacle to shift it into an opportunity? Here's one thing that I do say, right? And I say this respectfully because here, the reality is we're looking for the people that are looking for us. You got to posture up on people. When people be telling you, when people be trying to play with you, like I respectfully tell them I play with kids. Like I'm the favorite godmom, auntie. I was teaching Bible study yesterday at church. Wednesdays, my night, right? Sundays in the morning. I play with my nieces, my nephews, my god babies. But I do not play with adults. That's just the reality. I don't. I have zero time for it, zero energy, zero desire. I just don't. So it's either you see what I see, and if you don't, it's okay. But who do you know? Who do you know that travel, fun, and money is a no-brainer? Who do you know that's looking for opportunity? Who do you know that wants to just be around great people? Who do you know that just wants to be in a part of a community? Who do you know that's going through something in life that needs some certainty in this season? See, you got to be able to shift it quickly and let people understand that it's not about them. And it's not about you and it's not about me, but it is about we. This is going to be one of the greatest movements. When I tell people that this is going to be one of the biggest movements, that we are going to create the healthiest and happiest, most joyful and wealthiest community in the world. And I tell you, you could take that to the bank and cash it. It may or may not be in my lifetime, but I promise you it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Right? We're already seeing it. Massive momentum pick up upon us. So do you think I'm going to let Joe Schmo deter me from the blessings that are coming, from reaping the benefits of all of the hard work and the seeds that we are sowing? Absolutely not. So it's having that posture is like, you know, one of my mentors years ago told me, don't let nobody talk about your baby. Like maybe type of one, if you guys got kids in here, type of one, if you have kids, if you don't have kids, like, would you let somebody talk about your mama? Right? Suheni said 3 of them. I love all 3 of them, by the way. Would you let anybody talk about your kids? Right? Anthony, you won't let nobody talk about your son. I know that's right. Right? Asia, you gonna let somebody talk about Ali? Vicky, you gonna let somebody talk about mom? No, you ain't gonna let nobody talk about your kids. You ain't gonna let nobody talk about the person you love the most. So why you gonna let them play with your business? Why are you gonna let them play with this opportunity? Because they just don't know what you know. Because they haven't seen what you see. And I'm telling you, it's not until you get to a big event, until you, like, all the road leads to Playbook, right? If you are not registered for Playbook, that's okay. Just make sure you get your flight to Orlando, February 16th through the 18th. Make sure you're in the building. Like, we'll figure out your tickets. We'll figure out where you're staying, right? We'll help you figure all of that out. Allocate your budget. Get your flight. Like, block out your schedule. Because I promise you, it's not when you get into Seacret, it's when Seacret gets into you right here. That you ain't going to let nobody play with you. You ain't going to let nobody talk bad about your opportunity. And here's the reality, right? It's interesting because I was just having this conversation with somebody that is near and dear to my heart yesterday. And I was telling her, I was like, man, you are such a queen. You are such a boss. You are so powerful beyond what the eye can see. And a lot of times it's other people perceive us as less than. That's because of their insecurities. That's because they don't believe in themselves. That's because they have stopped dreaming. Like, I want to talk to my dreamers today. I want to talk to those people that have had a dream inside of them, that have had a vision, that it's been a burning desire. See, one of the things that keeps me going every single day, no matter how hard it is, no matter how much I'm hurting, is because I know that thing that was meant to break me is going to be my breakthrough. I know the thing that has caused me the most pain is also giving me the most power in my life. Like, this woman, I never thought I was going to be able to live my life without her, ever. But I also understand that I am here to finish what she started, because the legacy has to continue. So it's about shifting your perspective. It's about you understanding that there's something greater on the other side. There's something greater on the other side of that obstacle. So any obstacle, we have the choice. It's a choice to turning into an opportunity. When you decide, it means you kill off 4 other options. Decide means you kill off all other options. See, I made a decision to finish. So it doesn't matter how it's going to look. Doesn't matter how many presentations, conversations it's going to take. I made a decision to finish. And there's nothing that's going to stand in the way of me finishing. Now, sometimes you need to take a break? It's okay. You need to take a break sometimes to regroup and focus on you. And that's okay. And let me tell you something. When I was being my mom's caretaker and I was not building Seacret, I was still plugged into every call. It was on my AirPod. I'm over here taking care of my mom because I was her caretaker, right? I'm giving her a massage. I'm with the AirPod on in my ear. I'm making her food with the AirPod on in my ear. Here's why. Commitment lasts longer in community. When y'all hear me say, like, this community gave me life, this community continues to give me life, it continues to empower me, it continues to encourage me, because I knew what was coming on the other side was greater than where I was right in that moment. And I knew that as tough as it looked, as much as I was crying every single day, as tragic as some of those days were, I chose to find beauty in it. I chose to look at the light, at the brighter side. I could have been in a job the entire time my mom was sick and not being able to take care of her. So it's saying, hey, how can you always shift it's either you're going to be committed to your circumstances, or you're going to be more committed to your dream. You're going to be more committed to the change. Are you going to let the obstacles consume you, or are you going to let the opportunity pull you? Because that obstacle, it will be so big. It will be ginormous. And I'm only 5'6". I'm looking at this thing like, God, I can't do it. Help me, please. Right? Commitment always lasts longer in community. Imagine me praying and meditating with a group of people every day for a year straight, every morning at 6 a.m., every single morning. Half of these people I never even met in person. Why? Because commitment always lasts longer in community. Every obstacle, we have the choice to turn it into an opportunity. So I don't know what other obstacles you guys are embarking upon, but I hope that I answered your question. And if I didn't, or if there's another obstacles that you guys are embarking upon, let me know, because I get it. I'm in this with you too. And I want us to just start, teach people how to treat you. We got to teach people how to treat us. We got to let people know, this is my baby. Don't talk about my baby. If you don't see what I see, cool. But who do you know? With a smile too. I could be very passionate and I'll just smile because I know my passion sometimes is a lot for some people, and it's okay. It's okay. I'm not everybody's cups of tea, but I'm somebody's cup of whiskey. I don't know, right? But, right? And then here's another obstacle, right? Those who join and then they go MIA, right? If you don't know what that means, they missing in action. They're they in secret, but now they probably working for the Secret Service. They went into witness protection. Right? You don't hear from them. They just out. Here's the reality. There's going to be what's called placeholders in your organization. And you got to understand that there's 3 types of people in this business. There's people that you build with. Those are the people that you build side by side. Those are the people that they want to learn, they want to grow, they want to build with you, right? There's people you build for. You build for people. They're not there, but you build for them. And eventually, as you build for them, you'll find the builds with. And then there's people that you build through. And there's a lot of build throughs, and that's okay. But what I've learned is that not everybody is a build with. And there's some people that are just build throughs. And there's some people that are build fors. And us as leaders, we can't focus on what people say. We got to focus on what people do. And what people do or what they fail not to do is how we know which category we place them in, right? I immediately know who's going to be a build with, a build through, or a build for, right? I immediately know by your ability to lead or your desire to learn or your desire to take ownership. And we'll talk about that a little more, but you also, it's one of those things. And Vicky, this is what I do too. Like, I'll just call them and I'll just be like, hey, I'm just doing a wellness check. I want to say, are you okay? And this is why we're like, when I get somebody started, we have that short window, right? We got that short window. And I was, shout out to Anthony that got started. He got started on Thanksgiving, right? And literally on Thanksgiving Day, I'm doing his fast start. And I know that he's probably on this call now. And he's like, probably before he was like, she's crazy, right? But the crazy ones are the ones that get things done, right? The crazy ones are the ones that change the world. But I know that he's probably never experienced something like that, where somebody on a holiday, on Thanksgiving Day, is doing a fast start. But here's why I did that. Because I know that experience has showed me that people have a very small window of excitement. And it is my job, Anthony is laughing at me, y'all. It is my job to be like, how quickly can I keep your excitement, but how fast can I keep you excited by getting you paid? Who can we show? And guess what Anthony did? Anthony did his fast start, and we did his fast start, and I want to say it was like 2 PM. And at 7 p.m. that same night, he had his launch party. And his launch party, he had about 3 guests on that launch party, and one of them got started in the system the same day. Now Anthony has broken records in Atlanta, getting people started in less than 24 hours of being in the system. Why? Because I build with velocity. I build with speed. This compensation plan is built for speed. So why would I not capitalize on that? But here's the reality. Anthony was willing to do that because he had a burning desire. He wants freedom. He wants freedom for not only himself and his family and his son, but he wants freedom for his people. So he was willing to do that. And if some people are not willing to do that, here's what I do. Cool. Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? I take it away from them. Or if I call them and I'm doing a wellness check and I'm like, hey, well, let me ask you something. Are you okay? Is everything okay? Because I remember when you got started, and I'll hold them accountable. And this is why it's important also that when you get somebody started, you find out their why, right? When you do the fast start, you find out their why. What has you? What has them? What has them getting up at night, going in the middle of the night? What has them going in the morning, working 3-4 jobs that they don't want to? What has them thinking up in the middle of the night? Or what has them not being able to sleep? What has them? What hurts them? What is their why? Because the quicker we find out what their why is, the quicker we find out why they're doing is, then we can utilize that as leverage. Yes. And it's not in a bad way, but it's the reality. So my conversation after I know your why, and also when I ask your why, what did I also ask you? I'm like, do you want to make your money back fast, or you want to make your money back slow? Do you want to make a little bit of money, or you want to make a lot of money? And if they say a lot of money, what do you want to do with that money? Why? Because I want to get to the why. I want to get to what hurts them, what has them. Understand? So when they tell me what their why is, when they tell me what they want to do with this, when they tell me all of their goals and their dreams and their desires, then I'm going to go back and say, hey, I'm just doing a wellness check. How are you doing? Great, great, awesome. Well, let me ask you something. Do you still want freedom? Like everything's good with you? Okay, awesome. Well, we miss you. Haven't seen you around. I just wanted to know, did you still want freedom? I just wanted to know, did you still want to make your money back fast? Cool. Okay. Well, maybe, and then here's the reality. There's been some people, right? And again, this is one of those ways that opportunities are disguised as obstacles. There's been some people that they have gone MIA, and because I have a wellness check conversation with them, and I just cast vision, and I tell them, because the reality is, guys, people, they don't build this business. You don't just build this business. You build people up to build this business. Like you think that life doesn't happen to me too? Absolutely. But I know I can't afford not to. Every week I'm on this call with you guys. Every morning. There's no way I can afford to let life get the best of me. I can't afford to be like, oh, I don't feel like doing the Breakfast Club call this morning. I don't feel like serving. I don't feel like inspiring. No, I have to. It's in me. I cannot not do it, right? But the reality is that I just choose to shift my focus. And here's how some of those, and again, I'm going back to this because it's really, really good that you brought that up. When I do a wellness check with somebody, I will tell you, right? And this is somebody, and I know that this queen boss is not going to mind that I am using her as an example, right? And I'm just going to say, let me make sure she's good. Let me use her as an example. But guys, there's so many more obstacles that you can turn into opportunities each and every single day. And I will tell you, I had a young lady that went MIA, and I'm not even going to say her name, right? Because she hasn't let me know if she's going to. And she didn't really necessarily go MIA, but here's what I do know. When somebody makes an investment and she said I could use her, because I knew that she was going to be okay with it, because she's a boss, right? And she has very, very thick skin. I'm going to tell you guys, Asia, right? She's on the line. Asia got started with a pro pack when the pro packs were 2K. And I remember Asia and we had a great conversation. I was just like, I fell in love with her. I fell in love with her sisters. I went to Atlanta in August and we did some work, right? And then life happens. And I just did a wellness check with Asia when I was on my way to Atlanta. The day before I was going to Atlanta, I was calling every single person in my binary, because here's the reality. Just because I have one event that's happening in a city and I'm going there for, it doesn't mean that I'm only focused on one event. I'm focused on blessing the masses. I'm focused on helping and serving more people. So here's what I did. When I called Asia and I said, hey girl, I said, how are you? She's talking to me and she's letting me know what's going on. I'm not going to put her business on there, but life happens. And it happens to all of us. But I said, I remember what you told me you wanted. I remember what you told me you wanted for you and for Ali. I remember what you told me you wanted for you and your family. And we just had a real heart-to-heart sister conversation. And now she's been on fire. Fire. Anthony is her big brother, her older brother. You understand what I'm saying? And I love that, like she said, she is an open book. Okay. And she make sure you send your comments to everyone, Asia. But that's a true big boss. Yes, Anthony. That is a true definition of a boss. That is a true definition to say, hey, sometimes people just need a conversation. And I'm not saying that's going to happen with everybody, but I'm telling you, like, if you believe in people, and this is why this is a relationship building business, and the people that don't want to build relationships, it's not going to work for you, right? Put them in front of somebody else that wants to build a relationship with them. I know that this is about building relationships. And for me, it's like, we're not free until all of us are free. It don't matter that I got time freedom. I want Asia to have time freedom for her daughter. I want Anthony to have time freedom for his son. I want Deja to have time freedom. I want Nikki to have time freedom. I want Suheni to have time freedom. I want Vicky to have time freedom. I want Moana to have time freedom. I want everybody to have time and money freedom. But how we do that is working together. Commitment always lasts longer in community. And I'm so proud of you, Asia. I'm so proud of you guys, because that was But here's the reality also. She's ready to lead. She told me this, right? She's like, Pam, I don't really know about leadership. I don't ever think I didn't know if I was ever ready for it, if I wanted. She's like, but I know that I have to be the leader. And I'm just like, you are already a natural born leader. I'm going to help you develop a little bit more. And I'm going to pull that greatness that's already inside of you, because all of us have greatness inside of us. Are you just surrounding yourself with the right people that are pulling that greatness up out of you? And it's one of those things that God is always going to reward you, because he will never let hard work go unnoticed. And I'm using that as one example because, again, an obstacle can always be an opportunity. So number 2, opportunities are delivered through people. And it kind of just goes hand in hand to what we were talking about. Your connection is more important than your position. A lot of people be tripped up on these ranks and residuals. And don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of people that got ranks and residuals that are not leaders, right? Opportunities are delivered through people. Your connection is always more important than your position. Have you been connecting with your people? Have you been having those conversations? Pick up the phone, smile and dial. Maybe that person, all they needed you to do was just grab a coffee with them. And maybe not. Maybe they're just completely checked out, but ask for a referral. If that person, it can go one or two ways. Maybe you can re-excite them, reignite that fire, right? Another way is that I will tell you, get them to a training. Maybe you're the person that has a relationship with them, right? You can't be the person that has the relationship and you're also the expert. Get them in line with an expert. And I will tell you that this works more when it's hot and warm market, right? Cold, this is why we say cold market is slow market, because there's no relationships there. So if all you feel comfortable is showing this to cold market, understand it's slow market. How you make cold market hot market is because you build through them fast and you get in front of their easy ones, which are their family. So you can take somebody that was a cold, and because you got in front of their auntie, now you're dealing with hot market from the cold. Do you understand? So it's, again, your connection is more important than your position. So number 3, opportunities widen for those who patiently prepare. As we've been talking about, opportunities are disguised as obstacles, and opportunities are delivered through people, and opportunities widen for those who patiently prepare. What are you doing in this season? A waiting season is not a wasted season. Are you preparing? You want to make this a December to remember? Are you making a new list? Are you going through your binary? It is the last day of the month. Do not give up on this month as of yet. You can go through each person in your phone book. You can go through your entire binary. They have made so many great reports that have helped us, right? Capitalize on this square bonus, that have helped us capitalize, whether they're on Club Seacret, whether they're on Club Seacret Plus. There's so many things at our fingertips. But are you preparing? Because we often hear expectations are the breeding grounds for miracle. Yes, it's true. But expectation leads to preparation. So if you are expecting greatness, are you preparing for it? Are you setting the calls? Are you setting up the appointments? Are you getting in front of those people? Like, we all got a chicken list. It's so funny. I was talking to one of my mentors the other day, and I was telling him, I was like, man, I just showed my professor, and his response was like a laughing emoji. And I already knew he knew that what I went through, right? Because he's a 7-figure earner in this, right? Shout out to Josh Valentine. And I was like, why are you laughing? He's like, oh, I know how that can be. And I was like, yeah, he called it a scam. And I ate him for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Listen, I'm going to show them people that I would never show them, because I'm like, oh, this is, I don't know if they're going to like this, or they got so much money, or they got so much power, and all of these things. I'm going to show them. And here's why. I wasn't rude, but I was like, we started the conversation where you're congratulating me for being on TV in Spanish and in English and doing so much in the community, and you're so proud of my growth. And then you're telling me I'm doing a scam? I was like, as educated as I am and intelligent as I am, you really think that? I was like, I paid how much for a private education where you taught me at? Do you really think that that's what I did with my degree? I was like, it's sad that that's what you think, because you've been conformed to the mediocrity of society, and that's okay. But that's not my story. And it's one of those things that you got to posture up. And you have to also know that we all have people that are in our phone book that we're like, oh my goodness, I don't even want to show them. Now, is it you don't want to show them because you don't want them in the club because you don't like them? Then that's different, because we don't want them either. But if it's because you're scared, you should be more scared about not sharing with them the opportunity and seeing them at a training event and they're on somebody else's team. Are you preparing in the season? Go through your back office, go through your customer list, go through your last 10 comments on your Facebook post, your Instagram post, your TikTok, go on through your entire social media. Who's been commenting? Who can you catch up with? And it can be something really quick. And guys, the invite, it can be something so simple. Like, don't make it about you. Don't even make it about Seacret, right? I'm working on a project. I actually want you to meet my mentor. I have a mentor I'm working with. I want you to meet him. Like, I make that's my invite all the time, right? Because again, depending on who I'm talking to, I'm going to cater my invite accordingly. But opportunities will always find footing in obstacles. And if we are when opportunity is knocking, if we're often too busy complaining about the noise, we allow our current obstacles to cloud those opportunities instead of using them as a catalyst to help us be where we want to be and become that person that we know we can be, that is within us. I heard Thomas Edison once say, most people miss opportunity because it's dressed in overalls and looks like work. Opportunity is going to knock. The question will be, will we welcome it, or will we say, come back later? The obstacle in your business, the obstacle in your life, the obstacle in your finances, the obstacle in your family, the obstacle in every aspect is actually an opportunity for growth. It's an opportunity for us to get better, not bitter. The obstacle in your leadership, the obstacle in any aspect is only an opportunity for maturity. The obstacle that you're going through right now, whether it's people, we were talking about that they go MIA and they're going to witness protection, or, they don't show up to it. It's all for your growth. It's all for your maturity. So if you make a decision, you can stay on task. And if you can make a decision and stay on task, you will stay on top. You rather fail in action than fail with a good excuse. And I will tell you, if you really want to build a big business, you can always measure a person's belief by the length of their list. And the truth of the matter is that the amazing person is sitting on the other side of a phone call. What makes you mad, what makes you upset, it's letting go. Let go of that emotion and just go through it. Understand that setting yourself up for something is going to take some time. It's going to take some skin in the game. But it's a greater story that's on the other side of it. So every setback is a setup for the comeback. And the reality is why we say that commitment always lasts longer in community is because a bad excuse can destroy a great dream. So that vision, that belief, if you wanted it so bad, it can become a pilot to where it is that you want to go. It can become your North Star to who it is, the person that you want to become. And no matter what is going on in our lives, we have to take action together. Together, we're always going to go further. So if you're looking in the season and you're like, okay, what can I do right now? Prepare, right? Prepare. Go through your back office. Go through the stuff. Like, write down those things that you are going through, your obstacles, and shift them. Take those thoughts, hold them captive, and switch them. How can I turn this obstacle into opportunity? How can I connect more with people? How can I build better relationships that are not only going to help me build a massive community, but are going to help me to be better, to do better, to empower more people? How can you be proactive with the surroundings that hold you accountable? Or do you have whiteboards in your home? Do you have daily affirmations? Do you have vision boards? Do you have an accountability circle? Check your gauges daily. What are those gauges? Inspect what you expect, right? is your calls, your appointments, your exposures, your conversations, your new teammates, existing teammates, your new customers, existing customers. And again, if we want to produce results faster, income faster, we just have to show a lot more people faster. If you're doing 5 exposures in a week, try to get that to 35 exposures in a week. And it doesn't have to be you doing them all. It can just be you putting them on the phone with an expert, you putting it on the phone. Take it away from you. But that thing right now that you're looking at as an obstacle is the greatest opportunity that you can utilize, not only to finish off November strong, make this a December to remember, but going into 2024 with a mindset of greatness and prepared to take action, because the level up starts right now. This has been your Breakfast Club call for Thursday, November 30th, 2023. It is my pleasure, honor, and privilege. Breakfast has been served. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate y'all. Hope you guys got value as always from this. I read all of your comments. Greatly appreciate you guys. Great day. God bless.